It was all a dream. That's right. Minnesota Vikings finally selected their new head coach, Kevin O'Connell, former OC of the Los Angeles Rams of Anaheim. Going to be playing in the Super Bowl in I don't know, a week and a half. Good times. And then he's going to come on down, don the purple, and become the notorious KOC. Woo! Good times, man. Now, we've had a little bit, just a skosh to marinate, about the Vikings' decision to go with Kevin O'Connell over jumping Jim Harbaugh, where Harbaugh, admittedly, it would have been fun. His track record in NFL and college can't be denied, but let's be honest, he was a rental. Like, he was a lease. It was a short-term all in. 58 years young, and you can't see him sticking around for 5, 10, 15 years. It just wasn't going to happen. It was a try to win a Super Bowl right away, and then GTFO, and then move on with life. That was really about it. And the Vikings, they really want to look about building an organization for the future. So that's why they hired young Kwesi Adofo-Mensah as the GM. That's why they hired 36-year-old Kevin O'Connell. You're betting on the future. I mean, O'Connell could be here for a decade plus. Like, he could have an Andy Reid type run in Minnesota, hopefully with a Super Bowl win. We're talking about Andy Reid's Philly run, not his Kansas City run. And also, we talked about there is an inherent competitive advantage if your head coach is offensive-minded, and also if he calls the offensive plays, because you're not going to have that turnover at OC like you would if you had a defensive-minded head coach, just like Mike Zimmer, going through 17 defensive coordinators in his time here with the Vikings. And the Vikings also looked around, and they saw who's winning in the league. You look at Sean McVay, you look at Zach Taylor, playing in the Super Bowl. Zach Taylor used to be McVay's quarterbacks coach. Speaking of hiring coaches that don't call plays, Zach Taylor had 1 year as QB coach, and it was for Jared Goff. And before that, he had 1 year as wide receiver coach, and the Bengals hired him. No problem. Seemed to be doing okay. Now, it certainly helps having Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. We already have the Jamar Chase part. Now we just need to find the Joe Burrow part for us. But again, looking around the league, young offensive-minded guys, McVay, Zach Taylor, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin Stefanski, the 12-year-old boy in Green Bay. Yes, that does matter right now. And the Vikings, like I mentioned, they wanted to build young, forward-thinking, where a lot of times when there's a change in the NFL, it swings the other way. Sometimes it could be as simple as you had a defensive guy, you had an offensive guy now, offensive guy, you have a defensive guy now, you had a player's coach, now you have a hard ass. But the Vikings saw old school guys where you had Rick Spielman, you had Mike Zimmer, and now you have Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell. It's a complete 180. And that's what they wanted. I feel like that the Vikings organization and the culture got too toxic that the Wolves are just like, F it. Everyone out. We're starting over. The kids are now in charge by building a culture of support, not ruling by fear, like Hendricks is referring to. Brian O'Neill, high five. What up, buddy? But through collaboration and respect. And you can look up a couple of clips of O'Connell with the Rams and with Washington, where he's coaching Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, as well as Dwayne Haskins. And he's a teacher. Like, he's chill, super chill. I think that he's always going to have players' backs, and I think that will be a refreshing change of pace as opposed to always being dialed up to 11 all the time under the previous regime. And obviously the biggest benefactor of Kevin O'Connell signing is going to be Kirk Cousins, where they had a year together in Washington. And I think that you look at what the Rams were able to do this year with Matthew Stafford, and I've always equated Cousins and Stafford about on the same level, about that same caliber of quarterback. And if Kirk Cousins can have a year like Matthew Stafford had this season, even though not saying that Kirk was bad this year, that would be huge for the Vikings in 2022. Like, can they get to that level? And also, Justin friggin' Jefferson. Even though one for one, they're not going to use him the same as Cooper Kupp, but just in terms of usage and scheming him open and getting him the targets and having the offense run through him, even though everyone knew that Cooper Kupp was going to get the ball, they can do that with Jefferson. And Kevin O'Connell was knee deep, ankle deep, all the way deep, neck deep, even though he's 6'5", in game planning for the Rams. Like, he doesn't get enough respect because of the aura of Sean McVay, but that the Vikings saw that, and he interviewed well, and he has a plan for the future, so he's the best choice. Gonna go out and score 40 a game. Why the hell not? So, again, I'm in on Kevin O'Connell, even though, like we said, Harbaugh, it would have been pretty fun, but no. Notorious KOC. That's right, man. That's right. But your thoughts are thoughts. Why Kevin O'Connell was the perfect choice for the Minnesota Fighting Vikings? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.